Hello, everybody. Jfro, I'm opening up Zoom right now. You should be able to come in now. Hello, my family. My beautiful, beautiful family. How is everybody today? I see Alexandra, Linda with a Y from Australia. Gail. I always have to say, okay, learn as I go, Gail. I have to do a two-step memory quantum leap with you. Hey! Can everybody hear me okay? Ivan. Now, Ivan, you are a different Ivan, I think, than my other brother from another mother. You're a new Ivan. I have to think of a nickname for you. I don't know you well enough yet, but I will. Sound on. Sound on. Sound off. Okay. Now, let's find out where Jfro is so I can hear her. Oh, there's the window I need. One day I'm going to get this all automated. I'm going to have like a team of experts behind the scenes doing all this stuff. Okay. Jfro, can you not come in the meeting? I don't see anybody. Let's see. It just shows me no participants coming in. Let me try to invite you. Trying to find the Zoom link. You're the same Ivan. What the hell? Okay. Okay, if you are the real Ivan, you must have changed your profile picture on here or something. Oh, okay, it's my YouTube pic. Ah. Okay, Ken in Wisconsin, welcome back. You're becoming a regular. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Ivan. I didn't mean to. Oh, Flappin' ZZ. Flappin' ZZ. In the UK. Okay, what is your name? Are you in our group? Flippin' ZZ? Or Flappin' ZZ? You know what? What the heck? Just bear with me, guys. I'm a little bit. There we go. We got some people coming in here. All right. Jfro.
Hi.
There you go. We're connected.
Woohoo.
Hey, you know what? don't see my glasses anywhere. Do you see them back there where you are? Where the cats are? Did the puckweegies run off with them again?
I'll keep an eye out.
Oh my god. I don't see them anywhere around here. Well, happy Saturday, everybody. I guess down under it's Sunday already. Linda can confirm that for us. Are we still here? Is the planet still alive on Sunday? Hey, Donna. How are you? Hey, so if anybody wants to come on here and talk to the whole world with me, just let Jafro know and she'll pull you into the Zoom session. So you'll need Zoom, or you really don't, but if you're from our group, I can pull you in from our group that way. But that reminds me, so everybody, if there's anybody on this stream right now or that's watching this stream in the future that's not part of our Facebook group, Game of Scrolls, it would behoove you to join our group, because that's where all the magic happens. And that's where we're always talking and discussing astral projection and numerology, and we're healing each other, we're giving each other energy all day and all night, and we're encouraging each other, and we're what's some more things I forgot, Jafro?
Healing and learning and healing and maybe sleeping and eating and, washing dishes in between.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I forgot. Yes, that's about our day. Just about helping, healing, helping to learn, and washing dishes. That's it. Oh, and playing with the cat sometimes, if we have enough time left over.
Yes.
That's right. Loving each other. Sandra Poo, you're right. Sandra Poo, where is our sister from another mister? Where is Little Bear? And I don't see I still remember these names. I haven't got nicknames for them yet. That's why I'm having a problem. Not Tracy. Oh, she's working. Okay, and your other friend? I'm trying to remember his name now. It's the one that has astral projected before, but he's lost his touch. He needs to come back. He needs to use the Force. All right. Okay, so if anybody would like to come on and talk with me and share an experience that they've had in their life, it doesn't have to be like an old... Oh, Taylor, that's right. He's working too, okay.
Right, we got Sarah trying to come in.
Sarah! That reminds me of that song. Sarah. Okay. That's right, Sarah. The Sarah from the Sahara? Or or Jordan?
I think she's in Poland or somewhere around that area, actually.
Oh, that's right. Poland.
She'll tell us as soon as she gets in.
Okay. That'll be very interesting. Bear with me, guys. I'm just kind of waking up. I was trying to project, but I was too tired, so I'll try it later on this evening. We'll try it. We'll give it a try. So yes, if you're not a member of Game of Scrolls, our Facebook group, you're definitely going to want to join that, because that's where you're going to get all the magical stuff all the time. This channel is going to be just, talking to everybody at once, sharing our knowledge with the world, and and each other, but this is much bigger than us. This channel here, this is going to reach millions and millions of people when the right time comes. And okay, yes, Game of Scrolls. You're definitely going to want to join. That's part of this series. Part of the reason I'm having this series is to spread awareness of our group, because this is where we have a safe, sacred place for you to come. It's non-judgmental. You can come share your experience, learn, heal. Doesn't matter how much trauma you've had in your life. It's a safe place you can come and just unload everything that's on your heart and get free of all that negativity in your life. And once that negativity is gone, you can really shine and be yourself and have love in your heart again for once, and stop the grieving process. And especially if you've lost loved ones, or you've just had a horrific time in life, like I have, for example, and Jafro's had, and every one of you all that I know of. We've all had this trauma in our life but now we're all coming together to get rid of the trauma and move on to a much better place and vibrate at a much higher frequency. And that's what's important. Oh, one more thing I wanted to announce while people are coming in the room. Did you invite? You said somebody's coming in, but they're not here yet.
Yeah, I sent the link to Sarah. She was willing to speak today, and I'm not seeing her either. So
yeah,
maybe she's just.
Are you able to bring people in too? Oh, that's right. We have the basic version. They wanted us to pay for you to be able to accept people. I remember now.
Yeah, we looked into that. So maybe next month.
Yeah.
Stretch the paycheck here.
Heaven hasn't helped us out with the basic version of Zoom yet, but that'll all come in time. Maybe if you all just can find like 25 cents underneath your car seat or something and send it in, we can get a full copy of Zoom or something. I don't know. One more thing I wanted to mention is yesterday I put our very first condensed down stream in our Fastlane folder. And I know a lot of people are going to think that's my normal content, but that's actually a live stream that's been condensed down into an hour. That's a 3-hour live stream condensed down into an hour. So I know somebody mentioned yesterday in the comment that people aren't going to watch it if it's more than 27 minutes or whatever. And I realize that, but hey, I'm trying. This is important stuff. It's not to be rushed through. So if you're a Fastlaner and you see something in the Fastlane folder that's too long, watch it in a couple days. Take some time. Like watch 15 minutes one day and 15 minutes another day and then 15 minutes another day. Whatever it takes for you to finish it, that's my recommendation. Honeybee! Woo-hoo! I've been waiting for you. Yeah, so don't feel like you gotta sit for 4 hours and watch a stream playback. You don't have to do that. You can just watch it in chunks. Because there's so important. Sharing our experiences together is so important, because this is how we're going to learn about each other, find out how we're connected. We've already found so many synchronicities already. That's just incredible. Yeah, I know, but I know Messenger is cool and all, but not everybody on this stream is going to have Messenger or be connected with us on Messenger. But yeah. Also, I wanted people to actually come to our group to get the Zoom link. That was sort of like a little breadcrumb I was leaving behind. You see, there's always, or as Jafro say, most of the time, there's a method to my madness.
Most of the time there is. It's true.
Let's pretend there is.
I said most of the time there is. I'm agreeing.
Yeah. I always hope that I have the best intention in mind anyway. I try. I'm not perfect. Okay. Still waiting for someone to come share a story with us. Don't be shy, everybody. Now, Ivan's got some practice. If Ivan can do it, you all can do it. But you know, if you all don't know it, Ivan, our brother Ivan, who's very closely connected with me in so many amazing ways, he used to be a famous musician. He used to play for the band Anvil, and he was a guitarist, and so he's used to playing in front of thousands and thousands of people on a stage all over the world. But yet he was shy to come on and just talk to a few of us on camera. So he got up there last night and did really well, and I'm so proud of him for doing that.
Totally.
Very proud of him. And now look at him. He's probably going to come on here and just start running the show here one day. I have no doubt. Or as he would say, no doubt, no doubt. No doubt, no doubt. I'll get there. I'll be able to see where I'm from in Maryland. What is that doing there? Where I'm from in Maryland, we also say about house. Some people say Haas, like Haus, like Haas. They call each other Haas and call each other Chief. It's kind of interesting. They used to be a penal colony back in the day, the Eastern Shore of Maryland. We have a bunch of wild horses on my island. We have another island off of our island called, what's the name of those horses down there? I'll think of it in a minute. But we have a bunch of
Shinkatees?
yeah,
Shinkatees?
Chincoteague Islands. Yeah, we have wild horses running around down there, and they cross. They kind of migrate every year across this channel. They actually
Shinkateague and Assateague.
Assateague, yep, we have both of those. Assateague Island, yeah.
Those horses are so cool.
Yeah. If you guys don't know about it, I'll post a link, or Jfro, you can post a link if you want in the chat or in our group. That might be interesting for people to read. They might not even know it. It's so close to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia and Baltimore, all those cities. It's just right there where I grew up. And they call Maryland America in miniature. That's the motto of Maryland. America in miniature, because you can find everything in the rest of the country in that little state. You have the mountains, you have the ocean, everything, sailing, skiing, all the animals are represented there. You have bear and whatever, foxes, everything you can find anywhere in America is in that little state. It's pretty wild. And the Chesapeake Bay that dumps in to that whole area, and all the rivers flow into the Chesapeake Bay. It's a very unique, balanced ecosystem, and anything that can it doesn't take much to disrupt that ecosystem. So there's a lot of game and wildlife people running around everywhere trying to do their best to keep people from littering and stuff. Okay, I still don't see anybody coming in. Are you going to make me say one of my experiences?
Why don't you?
Because is that what you're trying to do to me?
I'm not getting any any messages back from Sarah at the moment, so I'm not sure what's there. I'll keep trying.
Okay. It's okay. I see how you all are.
Shy people.
Shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, Swan. What was that movie, Billy? Is it Billy Madison? It was one of those Adam Sandler movies where he's sitting there drinking a beer and he's looking at a penguin in the pool. He's like, "What you looking at, Swan?" Or something like that. To the penguin. DC, hello, hello. This is like one of my first streams. I have all the regulars, all the usual suspects coming in here. DC's in the house. Oh, did we ever hear back from? I asked the person from the UK, Flap and ZZ. Yep, Flap is my nickname. Hee haw. Well, Flap, why don't you come on to Zoom? Are you a member of our group? If not, talk to Jfro, JFRO. She's my lovely roommate that I live with here. And she is in charge of our Zoom session. So, like, if you want to get to know the bouncer in your favorite club, that's Jfro. She's the one you want to get to know and schmooze, I guess.
Schmooze away.
If you want to get into the party. I can see us having some soul tribe parties in the future. You know, we're definitely gonna have retreats. Oh, I'm sorry, DC. Honeybee, you can always come in and tell us some more stories because I know you have like enough stories for like a million of these streams, like me. I mean, I could tell you you guys all kinds of experiences, all day long. But I'm gonna save those for another series that I'm doing. I'm working on in the background. But this series, experiences, is more about you guys. I want to focus on your experiences so we can find out how we're connected to everybody, to each other, especially these shy ones. If those of you who are shy never come on and talk to us either in our group or on here, how are we ever going to know how we're connected and get to know each other? We're a family. Don't be shy, okay? I know it can be, if you have never talked in front of a group before, it can be intimidating, especially if you have a story you think nobody's going to believe, but no, we're not that audience. We are a family, and we share our deep stuff with each other. But you know, this is more about kind of more lighter subjects, you know, not the darker trauma that we come from. We'll save that for our group that's private and locked down. This is more of a place to share some experiences with us where we can all relate to. Like, you know, maybe an astral projection or even an attempted astral projection. You can come on here and share the problems you're having trying to do it, or you know, maybe it's you helped a little old lady with her groceries and she gave you like $1,000 for helping her or something. You know, it could be anything.
Honey is offering to come in via messenger.
Okay.
With audio only.
With audio only. Okay, we can do that.
Awesome. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, I'll just pull this over here. Honeybee. Okay. Honey, I'm going to call you in 1 second. Let's see. Don't you guys love... Hello,
Can you hear?
honeybee.
Hi, can you hear me?
You are live on the air.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm okay. I've been pretty drained today,
Ooh, I can
but
imagine.
nonetheless, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, how's the surgery, the healing? Better?
Um, yeah, I mean, pain-wise, it's a lot better, but I still
Oh, that's
don't
good.
have. It's still like they already got the top one wrong 3 times, so I'm hoping that next week they'll actually have one that fits right. So then I'll actually won't have all these big gaps in my front teeth at the top. So
Oh, let me, honeybee, hold that thought. Flappin' Z, you are not boring. You might think you're boring. You might think you don't have any stories, but I guarantee you
what?
we would disagree. I'm talking to
What's got?
Flappin' Z.
Oh,
Flappenzi. Oh, like Flappenzi? Flappenzi Z. Flappenzi Z. Or Z, you guys would call it, right, honeybee?
uh, well, actually, I mostly use Z because I lived a lot in America, so
Ah.
I still use a
We,
lot of
am-
American
we,
terminology because.
we Americanized you. Americans. You gotta say American.
I still say yeehaw and y'all.
Nice.
Spent a lot of time in the South where most of my three youngest were raised there,
Yeah.
and then kind of all over Arizona, California, Austin, Texas,
Austin.
Florida,
Austin's become a
and
Commonwealth of California now, I heard.
has it? Oh, I
Yeah,
haven't heard
a
about
lot
that.
of people moved
Since
to
I've been
Austin
there,
during the
then.
pandemic, especially the pandemic, because Austin's a big, it's very, it's more of a liberal type environment. You have,
I know.
uh,
I used to
uh,
love it there.
yeah, you have all the music, which would attract people like you, of course.
Yeah, that's where I was
And,
there. I lived at a place called the Metropolis, which
uh,
is it's like a big apartment complex, and it's just for people that are either musicians, artists, dancers, just creative people. So like bands can actually rehearse in their apartments and things like that. And there was always something amazing going on all the time. People outside doing fire dancing and
fire
like
dancing.
all kinds of
Ooh.
stuff, all kinds of stuff. And it was very inspirational. In fact, I found an old book the other day that I had been writing lyrics in when I was there, and I was amazed to see that like with the numbers, there was one from 11111 because it was the
Mm. Let's
first
see, where have I
11th
heard
of the
that
first.
number before? Hmm.
Yeah, and then there was another one which was the uh 11 1 11 11. There was an 11 11 was the time I wrote it.
No
And
way.
there are just all these ones around it, and I didn't realize I had forgotten like just how the stuff I was writing about when I was there was so very spiritually based and really uncanny. Because although I was going to come on here and initially, and I was thinking about speaking about my experience with my late husband after he died, but there was a there was a young guy there who he used to do that. Is it Tuvian throat?
Mm,
I can't
mm,
remember how they pronounce it now.
mm.
That
I know what you're
throat
talking
thing.
about. Yeah.
And he was very young. He was only I think
Hey, somebody in the
21.
chat, type out what she just said. That name of the throat.
Truvian throat
Yeah.
singing.
I know. One of you knows, like Alessandra. You probably know what that is.
He went on American Idol and literally pretty much got like booed off for going on there and doing that by the judges who decided that they hated it.
Boo. So they gonged him.
Which, yeah. Now this young guy was homeless when I met him, but he was hanging out in our complex because he had friends that had a kind of electronic group, and then they had
It's my kind of
this
people.
beautiful young woman who was a belly, not ballet
Belly
dancer,
dancer,
a
belly
belly
dancer.
dancer.
Oh yeah.
And we used to sometimes go out, and it's
I
like
don't know how
really
they do that. I
wild,
have no idea how they move all
hippie
those little
band.
muscles. All, and
Yeah,
that's
she
crazy.
was amazing to watch, and
See,
so
Tuvan,
sometimes he'd
Tuvan
stay
throat
there.
singing. Yeah.
But I kind of took him under my wing. He was extremely creative, and he was really good at making things like he'd get that wicker stuff. What do they call it? It's like corn husk or something, and it like long flat pieces that you can weave with. And he would
Oh,
make by hand the most beautiful roses that just looked like real roses
wow.
with them, and like all kinds of like dream. He made beautiful dream
Oh
catchers, and
yeah. I used to have a
all
dream
he was
catcher.
so creative. And and I one of the things that I wrote about was about him and about this soul connection, because there was an instant, the moment our eyes met, I knew him, and he
Mm-hmm.
knew me, and it was on such a like profoundly deep level, and
Wow.
it wasn't from this life,
And you've never seen him
but
before in this life before this moment.
no, not until I was there.
Wow.
And and also in this piece of writing, I had noted that it was inevitable that he was going to leave, and and how I felt about that. Maybe I'll post it
Okay.
online at some point.
This is a cool
Um,
story though so far.
but yeah, but then he his mother had been in an asylum type place for many years, and so he hadn't really had his mother in his life, but he did have a sister. But she hadn't been in his life either. She'd rejected him because um he would sometimes use drugs and stuff. And and she, she didn't want to have to deal with him. So I, I was taking him out. I was buying him clothes, just from charity shops, but like he had nothing, so I would buy him stuff. I was buying the materials he needed so that he could continue making all this amazing stuff that he made. And then one day his sister got in contact with him and decided that she was going to invite him to leave and go to California. And I'd already kind of foreseen that he was going to leave, but I
Hmm.
felt that it was going to be very permanent. But it wasn't until about 5 months after, when, I was devastated when he had to leave, because I felt I had
You weren't.
very confused feelings about him,
You had
because I
unfinished business with him somehow.
yeah, and I absolutely positive that in another timeline or lifetime, we had been more than a mother and son, that we had been lovers or husband and wife or something, and those feelings were still there, and I was having to keep that in check. Um, However, as the story turned out, maybe I didn't have to do that, because
Uh oh.
then he had gotten engaged to some woman in California who was like even older than me.
Oh
But
wow.
then again, that was all quite bizarre. And his sister couldn't stand this woman,
You missed
and
your window of
she said it
opportunity.
was, well, not
Hmm.
really. I think my maternal feelings towards him were the strongest
Hmm.
feelings.
Okay.
And I just felt like I just wanted to wrap him up and keep him safe from harm. Like I felt like he needed protecting. And so anyway, she came and she got him, and she I knew the moment I met her that she didn't really work at Lions Made Films, as she had said, because I immediately recognized her soul too.
Mm.
And I won't go into her personal business, but the thing is, she took him away, and 5 months later, he was dead. And I had seen
Wow.
that. I had seen that
So
coming.
you saw him leaving, not just leaving the location you were at. You saw him departing his body.
Yeah, ultimately departing, and that's
Wow.
why it was so permanent. That's why when I wrote the song I did before I ever knew his sister was going to come and invite him to go and live with her in back in LA. Um, I'd
Wow.
already kind of stated this stuff about him leaving and that there was a permanence, and I knew in my heart I wasn't going to see him again. But at that in that
Wow.
moment, I didn't know it was going to be because of death. I just thought it was going to be just that we were going to be just thousands of miles apart, not so much from Austin, Texas. But then after that, I'd gone back to Pennsylvania, and then I went back to Florida, and like we moved around a lot in that time. I think from Arizona we'd gone to Austin. Um, and yeah, there was a lot of moving
Mm.
around in our lives at that time, just myself and my younger children.
Wow. And this was in Austin, right?
Yeah,
This took place in what year did this take
this
place
was
in?
in I was there through 2011 and part of 2012.
Okay, and that's when I had my near-death experience.
Okay.
February, February of that second year.
Yeah, I
That
think it
February
was.
9th to be exact.
I wonder if I've got anything listed from that date
Yeah,
because
I know
it was
these
around
dates and
February
times
or
are so
March
important for
that
us in this
I
family.
actually left to go um to Pen to back to Pennsylvania. I'd left Pennsylvania, gone to Arizona, left Arizona, went to Austin, and then back to Florida. Then ultimately after that I came back to the UK again. But as I told you before, I'd lived twice in two different places before in California.
Right.
Um and like early in 2002 and again in 2004. Um so so yeah, there was just this instant knowing that we both
Hmm.
really, it was such a, I can't even describe the emotion that was there. I was just filled with
Hmm.
emotion, and it was just really a very deep, deep thing that I knew was otherworldly,
Yeah,
if you like.
here's something that came to me about him and you. Maybe you two have another connection, another life together, and you knew that you were going to be having this one moment in time where both of your worlds were come together, and you both knew that was going to happen, possibly. And it was just kind of like
Yeah,
a flyby, like, hey, hey, I'll see you in the next life or whatever.
yeah,
Could have been something
yeah.
like that.
And it was so sad. It was so tragic,
Hmm.
the way that he went as well, because he'd actually fallen out of a tree and was impaled on some railings,
Oh my
and
goodness.
he wasn't found until um the next day in the grounds of an apartment block where the tree was overhanging.
Ah, wow.
So yeah,
It's
it
probably very
was
tragic for his wife too,
he
because
wasn't married. No, he'd gotten
he
engaged to
got engaged,
somebody.
but he never got married.
No, it never got that far. I mean, he hardly knew her as well. They'd only known each other just a few months, and I
Wow.
don't think that it was something based in love. I think that it was very money oriented, to be honest. That particular situation.
Mm.
Um, According to
Wow.
his sister, that's totally what it was, and she really didn't like this woman. Um, and she was con- and the thing is that after he'd gone to live there, she was constantly calling me, like contacting me on Facebook, and with all these, oh, I'm having this problem and that problem with his name is Phoenix. That was his name that he went by.
Mm.
Because I have a daughter called Phoenix, and
Do
so we
you?
used to call him Big Phoenix. Yeah, I
Ah.
named my middle daughter Phoenix Athena
Ah. Okay.
because I always knew that she needed to be very powerful in this life to have that behind her.
You'll have to share maybe her picture or something with us, like because Spirit Dare shared her daughter, which I didn't know it was her daughter at first, but I have a very strong connection with her. Like maybe somebody else in the group will have a strong connection to Phoenix. Maybe that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
maybe we should all share, that kind of thing with each other on our group because
yeah, I'm happy to post some pictures.
that'd be
Um,
awesome.
I mean, as I spoke about on the last time I was on here, I spoke a lot about uh, everything with my son, and
Mm.
and and that and that bond, and just the crazy lengths that he went
Yeah.
to
Wow.
try and come to me.
Yeah, that
And
was
then
a crazy story for sure.
and then there was, there was another boy that had been trying to come to me for many years, and at one point would have been the twin in that pregnancy with my son, but he didn't make it. Um, However, my daughter Phoenix convinced that my son had come into the bedroom and was prodding me, saying, why is Ethan in here? Look, mummy, look." And I was looking, and I couldn't see him, and I said, "Well." I said, "He's not there now." I said, "What did he look like?" And she said, "Exactly the same as Efren." And I said, "Well, what did he do? Did he say anything? Did he do anything?" She said, "He handed me a blue sword." I said, "And
Hmm.
what did you do?" She said, "I took it." And I said, "Okay, well, that's that's to give you strength." And my son has always had a big thing for the Archangel Michael, who apparently has a blue sword.
Hmm.
Um, and this is an angel that he's had a lot of particular interest in. So it was interesting, because I didn't know about that until much later after this event had happened. But now it seems feasible, and now, um, as you remember, I told you that my Phoenix is pregnant, and it's her first pregnancy, which would be my sixth grandchild.
Wow. Sixth one. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a feminine energy with that. But then the other day she said to me, um, she said, "I think I might be having twins." And I said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, just because I'm much bigger than I should be for this point in my pregnancy, and I've already got one little stretch mark. It's the tiniest little thing, but it's like really cute. And then it occurred to me, okay, so if she's having twins, if it turns out that it is twins,
Wow.
then it's going to be a male and a female. Then one of them is going to be the twin that never made it back
Right,
with
for your
Zephan.
son's twin, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I believe is going to happen if it's
Yeah.
twins.
Yeah, because they just had to wait for another slot to open up.
Yeah, and this was the only one that would have brought that child anywhere near me, because my my much older daughter is still living in the US. I haven't seen her now for about 12 years. Um, Not because I've been over here 12 years, but because her and I are pretty much estranged. Um, I can't go into the reasons, but um, but my five grandchildren that are from her, she doesn't have, she lost her parental rights to her three daughters, who are currently uh, 13, 16, and 15, 13, 15, and 17. No, 16 and 17. Because the last two were very close. Like the first two were very close together, literally 6 months apart, and they're just back-to-back pregnancies.
Wow.
But she does have my two grandsons, and the youngest of those I've never met in real life, and she has a lot of problems, but for all the help that I've tried to be over the years, it's just she's just always kind of like kicked me in the teeth each time, one way or another. Not physically, but
Right.
you
Emotionally.
know, we've done a lot to help her,
Oh no.
she's made a lot of false promises, and she's done a lot of terrible things behind our backs.
Oh no. Well,
So,
all we can do is love her and somehow in our heart and forgive her, and then the rest is up to her.
well, I've told her that, I do forgive her for the things that she's done, but I will never forget how much she's hurt this entire family.
Yeah, I
And,
know.
and I would appreciate if she would just let me know once in a while that she's okay and she's still alive.
Yeah.
At this point, there is really nothing more I can do because I tried
No.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Those kind of people that are working in a negative path. Eventually
Yeah,
they'll be on our path, but it's going to take them time to come around sometimes, and it's hard, especially if they're in your life, like in your face every day.
yeah,
It can be daunting, because that just keeps bringing up bad memories and bad feelings all the time,
yeah.
which is
Oh, and sorry, go on.
oh no.
No, I was just going back to when I last spoke on here. I went off on a tangent on something else before I could explain why I started. So when I started searching for answers when I was 15 to all these experiences I'd had, like um, the I'd had obviously the near death experience at 11, and then I had one at 14.
Hmm.
Um, so when I was 11 and a half, 12, I saw one of those big triangular UFO things, and then
Hmm.
I experienced my
D-
first sleep paralysis.
oh wow.
Um, and then one day, when I was 14, I was laying in bed trying to get to sleep, and I rolled over, and as I rolled over, I came out of myself.
Oh, you did the
I
rollout technique without even trying to do it.
Yeah, I had, I didn't even know what that was. I'm like, what is that? And I quickly turned back, like I quickly turned myself back over, and I came back in. But at the time, I didn't know anything about astral projection or any of those things. Um, but and I also didn't know that the sleep paralysis when I had it was sleep paralysis. All I knew was I was awake, but I was completely paralyzed and I couldn't speak or do anything. And I didn't panic, strangely enough, that time. Um, it was very comfortable, and it was soon after that when I saw the spaceship. But um,
Yeah, can I ask you a little bit more about the spaceship? Like you said, it was triangular in shape. Was it one of those kind
yeah,
that showed up in Phoenix that was like a big wing that covered the whole sky? And I've seen that one, by the way, myself in
well,
Florida.
I Yeah, the second time I saw one was when I was in Arizona.
Yes,
I used to live in Mesa, so I saw one there as
nice.
well.
That's where they saw the. That's where everybody saw that one that for a long time. Like it was like 30 minutes or an hour that flew over Phoenix really slow.
Yeah, this wasn't there for very long, and it moved away like quite quickly. We all
Mm.
saw it at the time. Um,
Wow.
as we were driving up to uh, we were living in Mesa, so we were like
Okay.
20
I
minutes
know
from
where that
downtown
is.
Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and and we we had gone up. We knew somebody else that lived in these apartments. That's how we found out about them, and I managed to rent one. Um, so he took us on a little tour, kind of up in the mountains where Alice Cooper lives, because he wanted to
Oh,
show us
Alice
Alice
Cooper.
Cooper's
Forgot all
house.
about
Yeah,
him.
he wanted to show us Alice Cooper's house, and it was on the drive up there that we saw um, what looked like a spaceship, but this was this is more a saucer shape spacecraft as opposed to the very first one I'd seen. And I didn't know at the time when I saw it until like a couple of years later that where I was living at that time in Brentwood in Essex
mm.
was a real hotspot in the 70s um, for UFO sightings. And a very good friend of mine who I've known since I was 13, she actually had one stop literally just feet, like 6 or 8 feet up in the air over her,
Wow.
and another friend of ours on the field, on this big open field behind
Mm.
where I lived, and nothing happened. Like she just said, like we were just sitting there like gobsmacked and in awe, like what is this? It's like
Right.
how is
Wow.
this happening? And it's not
Wow.
doing
Did it
anything
have
other
any
than coming out.
sound or
No,
anything like that?
no. Apparently there was no sound at all, and it stayed there for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and then it took off very quickly
Wow.
and just disappeared. And the one I saw, um, there's on the other side of this big field, I could like view over this large wall. There's a lot of trees on that part, and there's a clearing in those trees. And I saw this huge looking triangular object, and it had, from what I can remember, it's a long time ago, I think the lights were like an orange color.
Like, were they
And
blinking or were they just stationary or always on
um,
or?
they seem to be kind of blinking between an orange and a red, like a, but very, very close in tone. Like not that distinguishable, but you
Gotcha.
could just make out.
Gotcha.
And
Sort of
it
like
wasn't it
toggling
wasn't a
back and forth real fast.
yeah, but it wasn't. It didn't seem like it was. When you get those sometimes with those rope Christmas lights,
Mm-hmm.
and you put them on a setting and it changes very
Right,
slowly to the
right,
other and then
right.
back
Yeah, yeah,
again, and
yeah, yeah. Like
it
those
was kind
icicles
of
do that. Those icicle lights.
yeah, it was kind of like that. And I just remember thinking, wait, what is that? Like, what is this huge triangle, in the sky? And then all of a sudden it seemed to just come a bit closer. I mean, it was still quite away from me, but it seemed to, without seeming to move, it was closer, and then it kind of was higher, and then it just zipped across the entire skyline at such speed the velocities, the speed of it was just incredible. It just and it just went zigzagged across the entire skyline and then just vanished, like boom, it was gone. And I'd been looking at that thing for about 10 minutes before it actually vanished.
Wow.
Um, and that's two of three UFO sightings I had. And I think I mentioned the other one before when um they formed they started just appearing in the sky, and these were saucer shaped, and they formed altogether a triangle shape, but they were just like one appeared, and then behind that there was two more, behind that there was three more, and it went on like that until there was like a huge triangle shape of these other saucers. And they just kind of materialized at seemingly out of thin air, just materialized, and then they dematerialized in the same way. But they looked like it was a proper formation, and like perfectly, it appeared perfectly evenly spaced. Um, they were large, but they weren't ginormous. Um, and this was in the early 80s. So then, and
Mm.
this was in London.
That's when I
And
that's when I had the angel interaction I said on my first Jeff interview was in that time frame you were talking about.
right.
Seems like they were things were very active in that time
Oh gosh, they were. I
around the world.
mean, for me, just everything was absolutely non-stop. So skipping forward, so I wanted to explain about the bees.
Yeah, the bees, honeybee.
Yeah, I
So, one second, Sarah, just hang in there. I know you're in Zoom. I let you in, but we're gonna get to you eventually. So just hang in there, okay? All right, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll keep it short, and I'll save the stuff about my husband for another time. But I'll just tell you about. So
Oh, we're gonna
um
have you on here a
after
lot because you have so many stories to get out, and I wanna capture them in
yeah.
time.
So anyway, after I'd rolled out of my body, it was like, okay, enough is enough. Like,
Enough is
I need
enough.
to know. I need to know what's going on. Like, I'd always known there was more than this. I knew. I think from the minute I was born, I
Yeah,
was different, and I
you and me
had an
both.
understanding of things on a really profound, deeper level that nobody else seemed to have a clue about, that was around me in my early years. And um but I knew, and I was already having recurring um dreams from an early age, um recurring, re-experiencing
Mm.
specific deaths, as well, and understood, like, many years later, why I had such a fear of electric train tracks. And that's because in the early days of having electrified trains, one of the ways I died was because I tripped and fell and was electrocuted.
Oh my
And
God,
I cannot even describe that, the feeling in that moment
was it a?
as it happened. The shock, I mean, the shock is, I know it's a shock because it's electric, but the shock, like a millisecond of this shock, I can, if I think about it, I can still feel it.
Wow. Can
It
you
is a
smell it?
what?
Can you smell like the sulfur in the air?
No, and oddly enough, I am clairsentient, and I do get spirit smells for sure. Um, but not with this particular experience of reliving this traumatic end. Um, and so I always had a fear. I had a great fear of um, being anywhere near um, these trains where they have, an electric
Or
thing going through
trolleys.
them.
Right, right.
And then in my 20s, it got so bad that I was literally having panic attacks.
Wow.
Um,
You had.
and I would start to get vertigo. There was one station where I sometimes had to go, and there would be a platform in the middle of two train lines with electric tracks. And even though I was way far from the edge, I I couldn't get that out of my head that happened before, and I would start hyperventilating and being absolute panic stricken,
Wow.
and I would feel like I'm just going to pass out. I'm going to fall over. I'm going to roll onto the
Did you feel
tracks.
any kind of electric static or anything in your body when that feeling came in?
I don't remember specifically feeling that. I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't
Wow.
breathe. My heart was racing,
Wow.
and I was, I used to think when you hyperventilate that you can't breathe, but it's the opposite. You're over breathing, and it gives the sensation of not being able to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
then that's why we panic. So, um, yeah, I had really severe problems with that for over a year, where they were intense all the time, multiple times a day. It was terrible, a terrible time. But I'm trying not to think go off on a tangent again. And
No, it's okay.
so I went to
You were going to tell us about
my
honeybees.
my first music manager. Um, he introduced me to this guy. Um, this was in I was 15 at the time. I just turned 15, so would have been still in the about 79 maybe 79
Hmm.
ish.
Okay. Wow.
79, 78, 79. Um, and we went to see this guy, and he lived over a shop, and he took us into this room, and this room, and if you could imagine a room filled with clothing rails like they have in shops, but he had these long rails that went from one end of this room to the other, like lines and lines of them, and they were covered in all kinds of chimes and bells and gongs and stuff. And
Wow.
so I told him what I'd have. I told him first of all about rolling out my body, and he told me that that was something called astral projection.
Yeah.
So that's when
It's the
I
rollout
per
technique. That's my
yeah,
favorite, by the way. That's my favorite technique to come out. It's easy for
yeah,
me. It's easier for
yeah. I
me than
mean,
the rope technique.
usually with me, it's been something that's happened via a lucid dream, or um, I have achieved a conscious projection, but only once was I able to. Like, it took me 21 nights straight, but on the 21st night, I achieved a conscious projection, and I've been trying to have, well, I can't say I've been trying as much as I used um, to have a conscious one, because I'm much more aware of how much easier it is from a lucid dream. And I had kind of forgotten about the rollout technique until you had mentioned it, and then I'd had that experience recently, and I think I put in the comments briefly about it, um, where I'd come outside. And I knew I was awake, like I knew I was dreaming. Um, and but I was on a grassy slope that, that was sloping downward. So I just threw myself down it. I just reminded myself, well, my soul's immortal, and I can't hurt myself anyway. So I just
Right. Yep.
threw myself down, and then like everything was just so alive
Yeah.
from then. And I'm just really wished that I had not been interrupted by real life at that time because I was literally about
Uh,
to go on a journey with this lady who wanted to show me all this stuff.
wow.
And I just hope I get to meet her again, like
You
soon,
will.
because definitely unresolved stuff there.
Just keep practicing with us, and we're all going to travel together and meet her together with you.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
goal.
definitely. And
That's awesome.
so getting back to the bees, I had come off um tour. My band supported UB40 on their first major tour when they
Wow, I
went
remember them.
when Food for Thought went to number one in the charts over here.
UB40.
And yeah, so my band was supporting their band. And
Rastaman.
when I when I came off that tour, super exhausted, but nonetheless, I'd come in and I was petting my kitty that I hadn't seen for a month, and I was sitting up. I wasn't even laying down. I was sitting up, and all of a sudden, I started to hear this buzzing sound, and I'm like, "Where's that coming from?" And it got louder and louder
Mm.
until it was so loud. And the next thing, I could literally feel bees passing through me.
Wow.
And I was
Electric
actually
honey,
trying,
baby.
I was trying to swat them away. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And it was the most bizarre thing because that is definitely the most bizarre thing I think that's happened to me as far as, well, it's lots
No,
of bizarre
I
things,
got
but
this.
this is a particularly bizarre thing.
Yeah.
And the guy, I like, when I told him about that, he said, "Oh, well, you know what that is." I said, "Well, no, but tell me, like, what do you know?" And he said, "Bees were originally a gift from the planet Jupiter."
Hmm.
And
I've never heard of that before. That's cool.
I've not heard that. I hadn't heard that before, and I've never heard it since. But this is what he told me, the one who told me what
Ah.
astral projection was, and
Hmm.
that I had rolled out of my body, and that it was nothing to be afraid of. Um, and I always had a lot of precognitive dreams as well. Um, but also, oddly enough, um, when I told my manager about that, he went and he had a look around outside just to see if there were any bees' nests or anything like that. And he actually found a nest. It was a dead nest. There were no living bees there, but there was a hive under the windowsill of the room that I was in. So I don't know if they were spirit bees just passing through me or what. But
Hmm.
according to this man, they were a gift from Jupiter,
Hmm.
and they were showing me love.
Wow.
They wanted to give me love. That was his explanation for the bees.
Have you ever seen the movie Jupiter Ascending before?
No, I don't think I
Oh,
have.
you got to put that on your list because there's a scene in there with honeybees, and everything revolves around Jupiter, and because it's the girl's name.
Really?
Yeah, you have to watch it
Oh,
now.
maybe there is something to that then.
Yeah, you got
But
to
I mean,
watch
where
it.
did they get that idea from? Why would they have something
Exactly.
tied to
So maybe we'll
Jupiter?
have to go and look behind the scenes of the writers of that movie and find out how they knew that. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. But you know, in my mind, I'm hearing that song, "Red Red Wine," and the bees coming
yeah.
through, and the bees coming through you,
Yeah,
like maybe making electric uh, honey.
yeah. There was so much going on at that time. I was in my room and I was asleep, and my manager was out, and I had this really lucid dream where he was meeting with some people in China, and to talk about some kind of business
Mm.
venture.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing that he'd ever spoken to me about, and it was so real. Like when I woke up, he was already back, and I said, "Oh, I just had this like dream, and it was so real. And in the dream, you was on a phone call, and you were speaking to these people in China." And he's like, "Ah, I was, but I wasn't here."
Mm.
But I was speaking to people, someone in China today about, I think it was to do with the club because he started a massive nightclub over here called Heaven,
Mm-hmm.
back in the uh, around about 79 or 1980, 81 maybe. Um, and it was the first club of its kind because uh, it was a it was a gay club, um, and it was predominantly for men, um, but there was a mixed night as well that could be for women or men. But they had their orientation had to be gay was the criteria for getting into the club. But I could go anytime because he was my friend and my manager at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always more comfortable among um, the male gay community than I was the heterosexual community, where
Yeah.
it was just a lot of hassle being me.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Oh my God. Yeah. Being me.
yeah.
Yeah. You got
So
hit on every 5 seconds. Right.
yeah, I mean, you can buy some of the gays sometimes too,
Really? Wow. That's
which is
interesting.
yeah, but that's all like not really important, but 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 yeah, and I have to tell you more about precognitive precognitive dreams another time because I've seen a lot that goes on in the future.
Yeah.
Um, and some of it
Wow.
is way ahead because either I'm already there, on another timeline, or it's coming, and it's something that's been recurring for many years. Um, and I'll talk some other time about the astral covenant and where that came from and what
Yeah.
that
The,
was all
the
about.
astral covenant. Yes.
Yeah,
That.
because that's quite interesting, and
Yeah.
that
Maybe.
turned out to be an actual physical place too.
I'd like to probably talk about that on our astral series, our live series.
Yeah,
One night, and we'll coordinate a night when that's good for you. At
yeah,
a time and place that's good for you. And
yeah.
we'll just
It
have an
does.
episode just about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a long story to really
Yeah.
get into it, and yeah, that would take quite a bit of time, and
It's okay.
I
Time
feel like I need to
is.
make room for probably other people that might
Yeah,
like to
we
talk
have a couple
now.
people waiting in your wings.
Yeah, so let me get off here and we'll talk again soon.
All right, honeybee, I love you, and thanks
Okay.
for coming to
Love
share your
you.
stories.
Love you also, family. Okay.
All
Bye.
right, see ya. Okay. Um, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and start another Zoom session. So, Leonie and Sarah, please come back in when I create this room. Okie dokie, smoky pokey. That way, I won't have to do this in 10 minutes again. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we're going to create a new meeting. Okay. All right, guys, go ahead and come back in. And Sarah, will get to you first, since you got here first. And then Liana, you will be our last guest. Hey, Jfro.
Hey.
I love Honeybee. She's got so many stories. Oh my God, we could have a million different episodes.
I can't wait to hear everything she's gone through and learned. Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. She's got some amazing stories, and she goes, "Oh, you haven't heard anything yet?" And I'm like, "Whoa."
And we have so many people like that, just loads and
I
loads of
know. I
information. We
know.
get the
That's why.
411 now.
Yeah, it's impossible to cover just one story in like an hour. That's why these things run for 2 and 3 hours. It goes by so fast because there's just so much information.
So
Sarah,
much. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, how's it
Hey,
going?
hi guys.
Do you
Hi.
do you, do you, do you want to be on camera or not?
Hi. Whatever you guys.
It's up to you. So how
I
are
should
you?
actually I should break my shyness.
You
Uh,
should.
ah, I'm in pajama though.
Oh, that's okay. I won't say
That's
anything.
It's very late where
okay.
she is. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. It's so good to see you. That's
Thank
Thanks for
awesome.
you.
staying up with us. I know it's very late where you are.
Yeah, now it's 2:20 in morning.
It's good to see you. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's too bright. You need to turn off some lights and get more cozy.
I
Like,
put a lot of lights to keep me awake.
oh.
No, but I'm a night person. But tonight I feel sleepy.
Oh no. So glad you made it.
Now, do you have any pet? Do you have any pets like cats or dogs running around
No, I
you?
have one cat. Here in Jordan, they have a lot of stray cats and dogs, but they manage to catch dogs and put them away, but not cats. So there are like so many like stray cats around here. And we have one that start coming to our house,
Mm-hmm.
and it just meows so like it knows how to meow.
Oh, I gotcha.
One of
Most
those.
cats do. But
Yeah.
but sometimes
So,
we have a cat that's is a little guy, and he has this little tiny voice when he meows. He's saying meow, they meow. It's so
yeah,
cute.
they know how to get to you, eh?
They
And then
do.
yeah, and then as like we start giving food, little bit food, and she starts coming. And now, even when she's full, she just meows in front of the door. She wants our company. So wherever we go, she goes with us. So sometimes we go for a walk long away from house, and she goes like a dog behind the socks. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now, before we get started on sharing one of your experiences, I wanted to ask you about. Now, we had a new one of Alessandra's good friends come and join our family this week, and she is from the Ojibwe people,
Oh yes,
and you know
I think
them. You mentioned
yes,
you knew them back in Canada, and
yes, yes. Because I worked as environmental health like officer, but actually it's like a public health. And so like for water safety, some other things. And so I work right now, all my like working like a career, I work for like government, like for provincial government, just general population. And then I never found myself there. There are lots of people full of egos. They want to practice their ego power,
yeah,
And
been there,
I
done
was
that. That's why I'll never go
like,
back to corporate America ever again. It's
yes,
like check that off my bucket list. Like, all right, it was nice. Now it's time to move on. Uh-oh. Did we lose Sarah? Uh-oh. The Puckweegies are back. There you
oh,
are. There you are.
yeah. So I was actually forced. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
It
now,
says,
yeah, you're back. You're back. Yep.
yeah, because of all these like clashes of ego, who is doing more? Like, if you are on sick leave, or I was like dealing with a lot of like depression before. And yes, I was on sick leave, but I mean, it doesn't mean if I, it's just like they always look who is working more, and just crazy. Uh, so and they consider me not like very tough to enforce things. So I quit. And I just felt this toxic environment for me. And I always wanted to work for the First Nation communities, but none of them really in my area had job opportunities. So it happened, and I applied to one of those positions, which are basically supported by Indigenous Services Canada. So I got a job in one of those communities up
Nice.
north in Ontario, and I really enjoy it.
Now,
First Nation,
how close were you to Perry Sound?
very far.
Oh, really?
Perry Sound is 2 hours north from Toronto, but I
Right.
am, I think, maybe 2,000 kilometers northwest from Toronto. So this is very close
Oh,
to
wow. You're way up
Manitoba
in
border.
Manitoba, like Northern Territories. Like,
Not Northern Territories, but Manitoba and Ontario border.
wow. So you were way up there. I mean,
Mhm.
that's where Ivan lives, by the way. If you take a right,
Really?
if you
There?
go, yeah, if you go 2 o'clock northeast of Perry Sound and go up, Ivan's family is from this other island right up there.
Oh,
What is it, Ivan McGavin or it's like a mix something. I can't remember right off
Manitoulin
the.
Island?
There's a bunch of islands where he lives, and I'm trying to remember his or McGowan or Mago. I can't remember
Uh,
now.
is it Manitoulin Island?
I don't know. He's in the chat, I think. Still, maybe
Uh,
he can tell
okay.
us. He can tell us in a minute. But yeah, that's cool. So you were way
Yeah.
up there. What were you doing way up there in the middle of nowhere?
And you know what? I just really clicked there, and it is amazing organization. They do a lot of health services, and I'm actually right now the only one. They hired for two people. One person, we were two of us hired, and one young person left. So I actually stayed, and because I really like it, like people working there, and like the First Nation people, they're so humble, they are very spiritual. I just feel like I am home, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah, when I first saw a picture of Kayla when she posted in our group, I'm like, I know her. It was like I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I know her, and now I started to put the pieces together between her and Alessandra. And Alessandra's begging me to tell her what I know, or what I remember, but I'm like, no, you were going to remember and tell me, and then that'll
Um,
give me a confirmation. See.
yeah, there is something.
Oh, he says no, a small in Lake Island.
Eh?
McKellar is the name of
McCullough.
McKellar is the name of that area where his family's from.
McCullough.
Yeah, Lake Island, a small lake. Ivan, is Lake Island the bigger group of islands or something? I don't understand that.
Let me see here. I go back. I don't want to open
No,
YouTube
no,
because it's
don't.
yeah.
I'll be your translator.
Okay. Yeah.
When he
So,
types some more, I'll let you know.
okay. So, I guess you want to hear some of my first
I
spiritual experiences.
Yes, of course. Now, why don't you just start by telling everybody like where you're from, like where you were born, and
Oh my God, that's a very long story. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. I was born in Canada in Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, right? That's
Yes,
not too far from Victoria.
Victoria, where?
Victoria Katie, you know our Victoria in our group.
Ah, ah.
The one I lifted a candle for last night. Did you see last night's stream?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I lit a candle for her last night because
Ah,
she needs all of our. I haven't lit my
oh,
candles yet because it's in the middle of the day. We're still here,
ah,
but she really needs our prayers and our positive energy, and so
oh,
I'm gonna start lighting the candle for who I think needs our love the most.
oh.
So anyway, she lives just east of Niagara Falls, in a suburb of Rochester.
Oh, okay. She's on the other side in the U.S.
She's on our side. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
Niagara Falls.
I hope one day it's not gonna be our side, your side. It's all gonna be
Exactly.
one.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was born in Niagara Falls.
Astral
I lived
Travelers Without
there.
Borders. I like it.
Yes, that's right. So
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. When I was 5, my parents divorced. There were 3 of us children, and we moved. My mom decided to go back to her family in Yugoslavia. That's the former Yugoslavia. So I
Right.
went there, and I grew up there with my grandmother, and later with my mom and my sister. And then there was a war in Yugoslavia, so they decided to come back to Canada. So yeah, then I stayed in Toronto for a while studying, and then I got my couple of jobs, all like in Ontario. But I stay mostly north of Ontario because it's so beautiful, so beautiful.
I know
So many lakes and
I
forests.
can't wait to go visit you and your new husband and Ivan and
Yes, I would
Tizzy
love
and
to.
Alessandra and Kayla and everybody up there.
Oh, that
That's
will be so nice. Yes.
it's gonna be
And
cool.
Jessica coming. It will be nice to
Yes,
meet
of
Jessica.
course.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, so this is my story. And so what else? I grew up like always being spiritual. I grew up with my grandmother and in former Yugoslavia, later with my mom, and it was a time of the communist regime, but it was
Right.
kind of like a mild communist regime supported by Western countries
Oh wow.
because they were against like a mainland Russia communist. So they kind of tried to get our leader, to work with them against Russia.
Right. Oh no.
It's
Yeah.
always politics crazy,
Oh,
like a little
exactly.
kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's still kind of that way in Serbia, right? Serbia is kind of like that. They're kind of loyal. They're
Yeah,
kind of
kind
more
of
loyal to Russia.
socialist.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, yes, and I was, even though people didn't go much to church and my family didn't, but I kind of always felt like, like praying and going to church, me and my sister on Sundays. It was Orthodox Christian church.
Right.
But as time progressed and I came back to Canada, it's like, okay, there's so many different churches, different religions here. What do I choose? So,
Right. Right.
which one is right?
Yeah,
And
you only had one back in
yes,
Yugoslavia,
yes.
and now you have
And I
millions,
didn't
right?
like how they go in church, if somebody gave a big donation to the church, they, then come a person and on the microphone and say, this person gave this much and this much, and this
Oh
person
no.
gave this much and this much. So I was like, oh my God, I don't like this. Then I go to other churches and I go and see like people like Anglican church, just you see old people there, After church service is done, nobody's mixing, helping each other. It's like, what is this, So I just start digging into different religions and Islam and Eastern like Hinduism. And actually, my favorite book was Bhagavad Gita. I don't know. It's in Indian.
I've actually read some of that. I'm pretty sure.
It just it's just sit in my heart, really.
Yeah, we have Jafra, right? A long time
A little
ago.
bit. We didn't read the whole thing, but we read a little bit.
Yes.
In person, somebody else referred to it, so then we picked it up in that way. Kind of like now, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thought it rang a bell.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it.
Bless
But
you.
then, thank you. I had been battling this cold and I had an ear infection, so I'm just getting out of it.
Oh no.
And it's good now. It's okay now. So yeah, and then I really get like it was 2017, and I was like, okay, God, I was like, I'm desperate. I really want to know you. I really want to know, what is true. How do I get close to you? How? And then I had a few days later, this was interesting. Like I was not really much Facebook person, like a social media person.
Now, how long ago are we talking from
It was
now?
in 2017.
2017. That's when I was in a coma. Um,
Ah,
all that winter. Oh my goodness. Yes, I remember that year
oh,
very well. Ooh,
yeah. And and then suddenly I got a friend request from somebody from Colombia, like
Colombia,
country
South America.
Colombia. Yeah.
Oh, we got to compare notes later about that because I was there. I've been there, and that's where I got it.
Really?
That's where I've been able to talk telepathically, and it's just a very energetic place. It's full of
Yes.
spiritual
They say
energy.
it's like a heart chakra of the planet.
Oh my god! Yes, I agree.
That's what they say.
But wait till you hear
Yes,
my
that's what
story.
they say.
Some of the people in our family have heard my stories, my adventures down there. But maybe I'll do some videos about my experience there because they're so surreal. But anyway, go ahead.
Wow, I would like to hear it. Write that down so you do not
Okay.
forget.
Okay. No, I haven't. I can never forget those experiences.
Oh, but to
Never.
share with us,
Never.
yes. So this guy from Colombia, and he's like a musician, and then he has like a little bit on side. He does energy healing.
Mm.
It's like, hmm. And then I read a little bit like a comments from people who had energy healing by him. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try, gonna be really open, and I'm gonna try and see what happens. So I started this energy healing, and then you really feel things. So he does like a general prayer to God, and then he invokes like this universal God energy and asks for angels and guides and
Right.
archangels to help in transmission of this energy. And really, you feel it. It's like this energy is not bound by space or time. So I start feeling this like a movements in my body, and it was the first time, so it was not like something that was like totally that I was in tune to, but I could feel it. And I had a couple of sessions, and at one, I think it was like fourth or fifth session, I felt like I laid down and just he said you have to lay down straight, um, so that your spine is like all like straight. And it's like okay. And I laid down and he does this energy and like feeling it. And I start seeing this white light, but it not really with my eyes, like with my mind, in my mind eye. My eyes are open, but I see this light, big light. And as this light comes like close to me, I feel it radiates unconditional love. And I was in shock, not in shock. I was so happy. It was amazing. But I was like, I couldn't believe this is it. This is what I was looking for all my life.
Wow.
Mm.
And I was like, I started crying and I was so thankful to God for showing me this. So I realized actually God is this energy of unconditional love. It's more than this. It's all like all knowledge and all wisdom, but it's all this unconditional and encompassing energy of love. So I was like, wow, this was amazing. So I go to sleep and I slept, I think maybe it was 12 o'clock, and then I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. But something woke me up. I started feeling this energy coming from up down the top of my head, entering my body, whole body, everywhere.
Wow.
And it was like feeling the most beautiful pleasure from this light. It was otherworldly, but also it was a physical sensation and electric and just so pleasant, so amazing.
Wow.
I could not tolerate how pleasant it was. I thought I'm gonna burst. So I got up.
Hey, that's how I feel like 24/7 now.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear I don't even know how my heart's still in here. Like I can relate. And that's all of your love and energy just coming, and I'm trying to bounce it back to you. That's how I think that's how I'm surviving. Just I keep giving it out to you.
You kind of have to remove your focus to refocus on something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
To just not feel it. Yes. And so it was so intense that I think I'm gonna explode. I can't take this ecstasy, this beautiful feeling on my body. And not only this, I see this like it's like I don't know how to say it. There is a light, but it makes all different patterns, and these patterns are coming from one beautiful form to another beautiful form. It's just like this, like this light is alive. I see it, you know? Yeah?
Did you see any colors that you don't see here? By chance?
No, I did. No, I just like it's like a light show, but more like a geometric shapes, and they come and go, like
wow,
and create something so complex and beautiful at the same time. So it's like I can't take this. I'm getting up from and I go down. It's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. This is so amazing. I go on my knees and say, thank you, God. I was looking for this all my life.
Wow. That's incredible.
And so, yes. And then
how long did this go on for? Like what kind of time period?
This was going like for 2 weeks.
2 weeks you saw this?
2 weeks. And then I will like during the day I will feel so elated, so wonderful. Like I have no like a body. I'm so light. I go whatever I think this happens. It's like I was manifesting instantly. Like I will say yes, it will be like
this is incredible.
It was incredible. So and I know now why we cannot like manifest now easy, because man, if we manifest now easy, we blow this planet right now. Yes.
Right. This is incredible.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I just
Parents' funeral.
Isn't
it on Day?
Oh, that's Leonie's, one of Leonie's.
My son.
No problem.
Hey, go away. Sorry. That was a good question, Case. That was a good question. Okay, bye. Sorry for the interruption. I'll just put myself on mute in case that happens.
No,
again.
you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, that was such a beautiful moment too, Sarah. It was amazing. I'm so glad I was able to log in just at that time. And so did you speak, obviously you would have, to the healer who you believe helped, I guess he was like a middle ground for you, that you hadn't, a bridge, if you will, for that connection. Yeah, yes, what was his comment?
His reaction was like, he said, I did a lot. I see a lot of reactions from people, but never so strong. He said, this is because you were so open to it. And I was open. I was really open because I wanted God to show in my life. I wanted to know the truth of reality. It was open to truth, regardless what it is. So I was like, if it's true, just be it, you know. And he said, because that, you know. So, and this
Your
lasted for
courage.
for 2 weeks. I had every time I go to sleep, after 1 or 2 hours, this energy wakes me up. Come here and
Wow.
gets into my whole body like this. It's like I have to get up again.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't withstand it.
Oh my God. It was, but this after this, like I started feeling more in my heart chakra, start feeling people. I could feel my energy healer and another healers that from this circle of people that he knew. I could feel them. Like if they think of me, I feel in my heart like a really physical sensation of sweetness. So and then I like recently, like there's so many years after, like not many people in my life, like from family or friends, I could feel that. No, I started feeling this is why I came to Jordan because I felt this from my husband and my boyfriend. And after I came here in Jordan, um, just a short little bit background about that. I am here in country Middle East, Jordan, because I am actually want to be with my husband. I'm doing papers for him, like family support for Canada.
Yeah.
But because of all these COVID, like there is a lot of longer
Protocols. Yeah.
processing time and waiting time.
Gotta love the bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy, a lot of
We
papers.
we have the
Hopefully one
same.
day it won't be there.
Exactly. It's
Hopefully.
crazy.
So when I came here, actually, I start feeling my brother in Canada like this. It's like, oh my God, we didn't talk for a while. He was like upset with the family, didn't talk, but
Uh-oh.
I was always like pushing. I want my family to be together. We talk, and so I sent him email and call him, and then we started talking, and lots of things happened in meantime. So he said that he is basically uh, doing lots of like a spiritual learning, and I was like, no, I feel him when he thinks of me. I feel his sweetness, and if I think of him, he feels, and he sends me email or texts me right away. Just amazing.
Aww.
That's
Yes, and
awesome.
now, like with this group, I feel like today is like, oh my God, it's not just the sweetness, it's like electric feeling, like in my heart.
So, welcome to the party. I know the feeling very well.
Electric honey.
It's electric honey that's connecting us all.
Yeah.
And
So
just
this would be. Can I just ask a question? Sorry, Mark.
no,
Is
it's
that
good.
okay?
No, you're
Cool.
fine. You're so
So
cute.
I feel really. I don't know what to do. So I feel people when I see them. I feel
Me
their
too.
energy. So and it can be quite difficult, but I would never give that away.
No.
And I feel like it's there's a reason for it, and because I am quite brave, I guess I'm always ready to do something about it. But this to me is quite a different feeling to what you're describing, or is it, Mark? What do you think? Like,
You mean
is it that I haven't
her experience with the geometric shapes and everything swirling around her?
Oh no, I don't actually know about that at all. I was too late for that. But more just feeling people from far away.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. Matter of fact, scientists have done many cool
Proven
experiments where they've actually taken, I don't know how they did this, but well, at least the theory in it works where you could take two molecules from someone's heart and take them on opposite sides of the planet, and they'll still beat in unison.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. That's amazing.
So, matter of fact, that's how cats and dogs and other animals migrate. It's how, have you heard these stories about these animals that have traveled thousands of miles to get back to their owner?
I went to Te Papa Museum, which is in Wellington, where we flew there yesterday to go to a funeral.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking at this. It's eels. They actually lay the eggs hatch like in Hawaii, and then
My
They
home away from
swim to
home.
New Zealand. Yeah. And they find a stream. I mean, that's just incredible. There's just so much that is associated with that type of migration. I'm just on a group chat with some beautiful spiritual people, Tane. Yeah. So this is why I thought maybe during the week is better. But I had another question for Sarah.
Well, we're gonna have this.
Yes.
We're gonna have this more often and during the week. It's just you gotta understand. I've been trying to build a foundation here the last 3 or 4 weeks. So once I get that foundation solid, then the content's gonna flow.
Even like little rooms of interest and
exactly.
But I mean, everything is of interest. It's going to be hard for us to choose where
we need to focus. Yeah, it's important to focus a little bit.
Yes, that's the hard bit, I think, and that's where Jafro is so helpful.
Yes, she'll be
valiantly swinging away for you.
And it's so difficult for you. And Sarah, I think I would love to be in a place where you are, and I think it's your courage that I want to acknowledge, that is so unabating and so open for the change in you. And that's something that I think maybe that's holding me back. It's like I look out at this, I'm looking for energy, I'm looking for signs, but I can tell there's a little voice in my head that's going, it's a bit creepy, like that's a bit scary, like how much do you want to see, like what? How do I help, how will I help ease away from that fear side of it?
But okay, the fear is what you have, it's all conditioned fear. So it's all in ego. All our egos are actually conditioned little selves, right?
Yes,
little selves.
Little self,
mini me's.
Yeah,
but you're not that. You're a divine entity. You're part of God. You're a divine energy, just like everybody and everything else.
What did I say on Jeff's podcast? We're like little satellites, right? Little satellites.
Yes. So you don't want this conditioning of ego to let you like steal the pleasure of knowing your real soul, your real divine energy in essence.
Okay. So I guess stripping that away, and it's a process, I guess.
It's a process. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, that's cool. I think I'm furthering my journey. So I appreciate that.
And it's a process of it's a process of healing trauma, healing shame, healing everything that we as a humans absorbed here and dealing with.
Undefining ourselves in this lifetime, I think, is really that's what I experienced yesterday. That I am myself, but I'm not. I'm everything and nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You're a 9 and a 0. You're 90.
No. It's so cool. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, now Sarah, have we caught up with your experience? Like, okay, after you said this lasted for a couple of weeks, and then what happened?
And then it went away slowly. And I didn't need to eat. I didn't need to sleep.
Exactly.
I was just so good.
That's the first week you guys were coming over from the Jeff Mark podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep. You can ask Jay I didn't sleep for a whole week, and then
You still haven't slept.
Yeah, Jafro will
in a
affirm
month.
that.
But remember, my life path said that I don't require any sleep. So, but
I hadn't seen you just waking up, and I was relieved. I was like, okay, good. He has slept for an hour or two.
Yeah, I get little cat naps.
Look after you. Yeah, we need you. So look after that physical body.
After your near-death experience, Mark, did you feel that you didn't need to sleep or eat? You felt just so amazing.
Well, that's me now to a T. But after my near-death experience, it was that plus other things. Like it took me a solid month to come back to this reality, or this illusion, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because I was constantly thinking about, like, the first restaurant I went to after I got out of the hospital. I think I was at an IHOP. I don't know if you know what an IHOP is, but I don't know if you have those in New Zealand either. It's
International House of Pancakes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I ordered one of everything on the menu because I was so hungry because I hadn't eaten in a long time. And I was just sitting there and I was looking at everybody around me in the restaurant and I was wondering how they were connected to me. Like, I'm like, okay, and I knew how they were connected, which was weird. And still, because I was still under this
connected to that energy from the other side.
And at one point I actually got up out of my booth and I was going to talk to people and I was like, but they're going to think I'm crazy, so I did it a few times, but I'm like, but I introduced myself to a few of them in the restaurant and I'm like, hi, how are you doing? And just meeting them and talking with them, and they were surprised, of course, but that's what I knew we were here for. We can't ignore each other, and we have to be shy, and we have to look at all those around us because we're all connected, and we got to find out how we're all connected. And that's the whole premise behind this group. And but we got to start somewhere, and that's who we are. We're starting. We're starting that right now, and then it's going to spread like a fire, like a wildfire.
Yeah.
And,
has anyone done anything like this before? That's what I'm curious about too.
What? Tried what?
Are we writing the real books? We, as in you guys.
Yeah. So I've never heard.
Hang on a second. We've got a 3-minute warning on this Zoom window.
Okay.
Oh, so, okay. Well, let me close out of it now, and we'll come back in. Okay.
Yeah.
Just come back in the room. Okay.
Okay. I'll have a cigarette, and after I'll join.
Okay.
Maybe have a ciggy.
Siggy.
2 and 5.
That's right, Siggy.
Have a ciggy.
Okay. Starting a new one. Walking the mile. Have you guys ever seen The Green Mile? Great movie. There we go. Got J-Fro back in. Okay. We just gotta wait for. We'll bring Leonie. Leonie, did I see your name right? Leonie or Leonie? Waiting for her to come back in. Yes, you're right, Flap. That's what I'm going to call you from now, Flap. Quantum entanglement. Einstein, yes, he knew what was going on, but he couldn't quite work it out before he died. You're going to smoke with Sarah? All right. She'll be surprised when she sees you outside. This is great. Oh my God. These stories are amazing. And I'm telling you, watch. Sarah and I are going to have a connection in Colombia. Watch.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah. I guarantee you. Yeah, I already named you Flap. Oh, did I?
That was his nickname already.
Oh.
Or her.
Oh, I didn't realize I'd already named you. Well, there you go. You're still Flap.
Must be the right one. It's stuck.
Yeah. But DC, I guess you're always going to be DC because that's... I grew up near Washington, D.C., so I'll always remember you that way, too.
Direct current.
Direct current, that's right. Direct current. Yeah, that's something we're going to also get into is, our scientists today still don't know how alternating current works, which is amazing to me. We know so much, but why don't we know about alternating current? And when you guys find out that your electricity never gets used, it just comes through your house and goes right back to the electric company, you're going to feel like you've been robbed.
I already feel that way, especially lately. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Most people don't know that they don't even use it. They're just using the potential of it. They're not using the actual energy. The energy goes right back to the electric company. That's why you have 3 wires. The 3rd wire goes back to the electric company. The white wire. You're just using the potential that's coming through the house. You're paying for something you're not even using.
Crazy.
I know, right?
It's a great way to make a buck, though. Wow.
Right. That's why Tesla was stopped.
It is. Poor guy. What would it have been like if he hadn't been stopped?
Yeah, I know, right? Just think of all the possibilities. I mean, he was sending alternating current wirelessly across the Atlantic Ocean. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell anybody how he did it. But we're going to figure it out. That's something that's hot on my list. And I was actually, I was a part of a group of scientists and doctors and researchers creating we were trying to get to the bottom of it when I was in Arizona before my 2 last surgeries where I was in a coma. I was actually working on free energy projects, and so I have a lot of experience in that area. There's just some missing parts that I got to put the pieces to, and then we'll have it. But when we do find out about it, we're not going to hang on to it. We're not going to even use it to make money. We're going to give it away for free, the right way. The right way. See, if you get,
make sure you tell everybody too. Make sure you tell people. Don't be Tesla.
Exactly. Yeah, when you discover something on that magnitude, you have to give it away to the public right away. You can't let the evil energy companies come and push
the men in black.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally trip out of a 18-story
4th floor window.
Yeah, like in Russia.
Oh no. It's terrible over there. It's like everybody's so clumsy over there.
Yeah, what happened to Leonie?
I'm not sure.
She didn't come back. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, DC. It's easy to spell. When I think of DC, and when I was 18 and living in Maryland, it was legal to drink in Washington D.C. when you were 18. So we used to drive to D.C. on the weekends sometimes to drink and go to nightclubs and stuff. And so we used to put on, like, one time we had, we would have either the Hysteria album going from Def Leppard, or we would have the Beastie Boys, like No Sleep Till that reminds me of your name when I hear DC. Okay, Sarah's coming back in. Leonie, what happened to you? She probably had to take care of something with her kids or something. So we'll wrap it up with Sarah, and then we'll hit Leonie, and we'll call it a stream.
Sounds good. There's Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got your robe on now, like I do.
Yes, outside is a little bit cold, not like in Canada.
No, I know you guys are way colder up there. What's the temperature there, or where you are in Jordan right now?
During the day, today was almost like spring, maybe 18, 19,
Oh, wow.
20. During the night now is like around maybe 10.
10, okay.
Like
Chilly.
Wow.
it's not bad.
That's pretty chilly. So that's what, 10 times 2
that's
is 20 plus
nothing.
30,
That's
50
nothing.
degrees. Yeah. 50 degrees. Yeah, it gets colder than that here in the summer at night.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Leonie. So we want to wrap your story up, Sarah, so we can hear one of Leonie's experiences. So
Sure.
So getting back to this energy kind of went away little by little, and then what happened? Uh-oh. You froze up for a second.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Spaghetti
Uh-oh.
goes. There she is.
The men in black
Yeah.
came and got her. Because we were talking about free energy. I don't know. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay,
So-
yeah, you just disappeared. You got teleported out somehow.
So it slowly disappeared, and after that I was not able to hold it. I don't know, for some reason, and this made me feel like, oh, I'm back into this reality now. No energy. What is this? Because when that happened, I was like all day long and night. I knew and I felt. It's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like, I am divine. Finally, I know. I know it's not only that God is somewhere there, it's separate from us. We are divine. I felt
We all make
Yes.
up that power.
Yes. And I was
Yes.
so happy. This was my discovery. This was the truth I was looking for.
And this is Leonie. Did I say your name right, or did I say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leonie.
Okay, Leonie. Oh, Leonie. Okay, I didn't know how the O was pronounced. Okay, Leonie.
Now people like my dad says Leonie.
Leonie.
It's German.
Yeah, Leonie.
Leonie. But in New Zealand, it's like Leonie. Leonie.
Leonie, mate.
Leonie. I know. I'm not sure.
Leonie. Okay, Leonie. I got to come up with a nickname for you. Maybe I'll come up with a Maori nickname.
Leo.
Leo.
People call me Leo.
Leo. Okay, Leo. Leo it is. I like it. Okay, so Leo had a mic drop moment earlier today or yesterday. I don't know. These days
For me, it's like yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. For you,
Yeah, but I'm way ahead of you all.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're exactly almost a day ahead of us. Like
literally.
Literally a day ahead of us.
Literally.
Like when I lived in Hawaii, you were living exactly a day in the future from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it varies. It's so bizarre. And that's another thing we could talk about, because I'm grappling with the whole flat earth thing, and I don't know.
No.
Stay
away from there. Okay. Stay away from that rabbit hole.
Because it is very conflicting, and I think I'd rather there's better things. There are better things to spend my energy and time on.
I agree. That's what I came to as well. I kept going down these rabbit holes, and I'm like, because it's very interesting, right? It's very you're curious, and you're like, wow, I always thought that, but then this other group
when
says
you hear the
no.
science behind it.
Right, exactly.
And I'd rather let other people figure that out. There are other people who can figure that out better than me, and it actually is unimportant to me in the scheme of things. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Sarah. I totally sabotaged your story, but I wanted to tell you that Leonie or Leo. Now I'll call you Leo. I got to put that in my mind. Leo had a epiphany yesterday when we were talking about, we're all one person. We're all the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of what you just said.
I had that. Yeah, I had that in my heart already from my learning. Is that our collective energy is one consciousness.
Yep.
And how we are as one affects us all. So I think people who have the knowledge that we do now, it's our responsibility to bring everyone higher, bring our one higher and together.
Yeah, it's amazing how we all found each other so fast. Like lightning.
It was
fast.
like you were a lightning, and you just like grabbed everyone.
Yes, it's just like that.
Yeah,
it's a freak. It is quite amazing. It is quite otherworldly. But what my mic dropping moment is that I am not defined by my ego. I just realized that.
Yeah.
By me as ego, by Leonie, as how, the one who was born 43 years ago. And that doesn't need to limit or define me. And it's the multiple, it's how I am, how Leonie is as part of a great, great, great consciousness.
Yeah. And
that is so cool.
Yeah. All right, Sarah, back to you.
No, that's fine. That's exactly when I mentioned to you, are we all one? I think we are all one, because this is what I can conclude from
I
my direct
know we're all
experience.
one.
But
Yes.
you can say it and not really know it, if you know what I mean.
That's
It's
right.
Like that's
all
where I
one.
was at. I was at that, but now I know.
No,
Now I
that's
feel
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and once you feel it, it's like the best feeling ever. Like
It is.
you
It
know.
starting in my legs right now, starting in my feet. It's coming up.
Oh, just wait
Yeah.
till tomorrow.
I'm waiting for the head part.
Yeah, you'll never even think
That's
about taking drugs again.
Oh my goodness!
This
I
is
had
better
that with a
than any drug.
homeopathic experience. A homeopathic. We've got a spiritual homeopathic practitioner who looks after our whole family.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like she's protected us from so much physical and not
Nice.
physical. Like, and I would have a remedy from her, and I would be like, "Whoa, this is like the best ecstasy you could ever have." Like it's seriously, it is just like that. And there must be maybe there's some way to tie that into.
Yeah.
There is an opening in it, but it doesn't leave you, and it is always in us, and it just taps, it just opens that little. No, I don't know.
And just think, everybody in our family that has been struggling, they're still struggling through some sadness or grieving. They all have this potential in them that we're feeling, and that's why we're all feeding off each other's energy right now. And we're gonna, and all those people, all those of you who are feeling left out or something because you're not feeling what we're feeling yet, don't worry, you're going to get there, and once you do, there's no turning back. So just know that better days are coming.
That's right.
Better days are coming
because
for
once
you.
you experience, you know it.
Yeah. No one gets left behind here. We're all going to travel together.
I feel like, and this is such a, I don't know how to ask this, but there's a smugness in me, and maybe that's my ego, because there's something that I enjoy about teaching or being the person who is slightly greater awareness for the people around me, because there's a lot of people who have none of it, and I really and I want to know how to rid myself of that.
That doesn't sound like ego to me. That sounds like you're just excited, and it's exciting to share this kind of information. You know, some of us are born teachers. We're meant to be teachers. You know. For me,
I'd love to know why. Because Sarah's obviously had a really phenomenal experience, on a level to yours, Mark.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, like there's a chosen aspect in the way that she's experiencing.
But okay, so from my vantage point so far, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of you guys, because not all of them are in our Facebook group that I talk to. People email me.
There's enough in our Facebook group now.
I know. There's enough just there, but I get stuff from outside of our Facebook group because, and quite a few people just followed me. And whenever I see that, I send them a friend request so they can.
Nice.
I don't want a bunch of different groups everywhere that I'm talking to. I want everybody.
And you don't have the ego. You just want to bring them all in. You don't have that because you're kind of a celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like a Joan of the Arc. I'm just a messenger. That's all I am.
No, you're more than that. You're more than that. But you don't have the bit that wants to elevate yourself from others, and I think that's where the work can be done. That is the beauty of this, what we're doing.
I know. This is just amazing. I'm just so excited. And so we all have these superpowers. Everyone that came here has superpowers, I call them. You know, I just like to call it that because it sounds cool. But really, we all have these gifts and we all seem to have a little niche, right? You want to say it, niche.
Niche. I don't think I do.
We all have this little niche power. It seems like everyone, like Linda with the Y. I can see her right now in the chat. She has she has X-ray vision. I mean, and
does she?
Yes, yeah. You must have missed the live streams when she talked about.
She's the one up in the Norfolk Islands. Is that right? Is she quite close to me?
She is just across the water from you in New South Wales and Melbourne.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's Victoria. Sorry, Victoria. She's in Victoria. Melbourne.
Yeah, but Victoria is Melbourne.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just making sure I wasn't getting mixed up with Kirsty with a K. She's in.
Oh, that's right.
She's in New South Wales.
Yeah.
She's in Southwest Rocks. So.
The one who was really brave and spoke on the first chat, and she lived in a spot where she could see north, east, southwest.
Yeah. Oh, I think that was Kirsty. You're thinking.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway,
she has had a massive transformation too in our family. Like, did you see her like a couple streams ago when she was running through her property and showing us all the trees and plants and everything? Yes, now she's like this free, like little fairy running everywhere and so happy.
Because she wanted to be that, but she just was constrained by what she didn't know she needed to be or something. Yeah,
her transformation is probably one of the most profound that I've seen so far. But from my vantage point, and I keep forgetting to post this, but there was a TV show that came on one of our networks here in America called Heroes. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but our family coming together reminds me so much. There's so many parallels to these characters in the show and the plots. And like there's an eclipse that happens, and when that eclipse happens, all these people like got these supernatural powers, and they have to stop basically a nuclear bomb from going off on Earth. And so it's this family reminds me of so much of that show. I want everybody to watch it because I want you to understand that from my vantage point, this is exactly what's happening here. It's so over the top amazing that from what I'm seeing, how all this is coming together.
When you were saying at the beginning, when I kind of interrupted you at the very beginning when you said, or just now, when you said of all the people I talk to, not counting just in this group, is that what the point that you were going to make? That everyone that you've spoken to, or
is that
what you were meaning?
I never finished that thought, did I? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Exactly. We all have these special powers or abilities, and we are all going to put them together. And matter of fact, I think not only does each one of our souls have these special abilities, we're also giving or sharing them with each other too. So if you didn't think you had a superpower, just wait.
Potluck. Just wait. Can you tell me when you think you know what mine is?
Well, it'll show itself. You might not notice it, but we all have these. Like, like I didn't know I was such an empath. I didn't know that. It all makes sense now when I look back at it. I didn't know. Like I used to see things in the dark nobody else saw, and I felt things, but I never paid attention to my intuition.
That's about getting activated. Yeah.
So
being allowed to. Being given permission.
Yeah, so my first advice for you, if you don't think you have a superpower, just start listening to your intuition, even if it doesn't make sense. Just listen. I mean, it talks to you all the time, and once you start paying attention to your intuition, then all this love around you that we have, you're going to start to notice things. And when you have when you have your first experience, like your first astral projection, I think that's why I've honed on this topic, not only because a lot of you coming from the Jeff Meyer podcast wanted to know more about it, and it was so obvious from my point of view because I had so many requests to learn about it, and I was like, oh my God, this must be a key to why we're all coming together. We all must learn how to do this together.
I've never thought about it.
And,
I've never thought about it, to be honest.
It makes sense because even if you haven't had an NDE, you don't have to die to experience what we've experienced. And so I think
Yeah.
once you
What's
have,
it for, though?
but once you, because when you do have it, you're going to find out more about who you are.
Perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Information.
mean, and you're
Information.
switches are gonna activate within you
Yeah.
when this happens too.
My best friend's dad, this is actually quite a cool little story, actually. I should maybe get him involved. So he's now in an aged care facility, and his whole life he was a scientist from Germany. So my best friend they immigrated from Germany as well, which is so bizarre. She's like my best friend and my sister and everything all at the same. And she's actually married my brother-in-law, which is even more bizarre. But so her dad's a physicist, so he worked for really like top of the line technology companies in the 80s and 90s. And he says to me, like, because I always give him the time, because I always feel like there's some information that he needs to give me, and everyone else just thinks, oh, Uli, you just stop talking so long or whatever. But now he says, like, since he's discovered this, more so since he's had a stroke, but a part of his mind was open, and he said at any time he can go into. He said, I can only describe it as the universe, and I hear a voice from what I can only describe as God. So he was never a religious person. And he said, I can ask any question that I want, and it will be answered. And it's not with my voice or my mouth. It is with my mind.
Yes.
And that's as simple as he says it. And now he just lives this contented life. Following his stroke, he just really watches romance movies all day, every day, because he didn't have that as a child. He didn't have love.
It's a major ingredient you need.
Yeah,
a lot of people are missing.
He was when he was 1, his brother and he were put into an orphanage, and then his father got them back out at 2. Like, it's very traumatic. But he's come through it in this way where he's been able to discover this realm that we all could. So I think I want to ask a few questions too, because he said he makes it sound really easy.
As a matter of fact, I think all these great men and women in our history books, like Einstein and all these other people, I think they projected at one point. They must have.
Yeah.
It's not like they have a mastermind or something like that. Either that, or they could short circuit our brain, because our brain traps us in this reality. But
that's right.
They did something to circumvent the brain at one point. Because they understood way too much. You should not understand that much about physics and science. Unless you were, maybe they were meant to come here and share that. And that's why they came they chose the right kind of chemistry with the mother and the father, or whatever. However that works. I'm still learning about that myself. But we all have this ability to go and learn this knowledge and bring it back. And that's one of my first epiphanies. I was like, why can't we all travel the universe together as like one big family? And that's how this all got started. And then so that's only one thing, and all vibrating at the same frequency was another epiphany I had. Like, we all put in earbuds and we listened to the same binaural beats, and that way we're all projecting the same frequency, and that's exactly
just heightened our power.
Yeah, and
maximize.
And all these special sites around the Earth, like the Giza pyramids and Baalbek and all these sites, they all produce this energy. So, and I believe that they're still producing the energy, these ancient sites. And so, if we can produce that same kind of effect of all of us coming together, I think that'll be awesome. And we're gonna learn how to do it. I have no doubt.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have so much talent here. I call it talent, but everybody, all the superpowers put together, we all have a piece of the puzzle. And once we learn how to put them all together, I think we're going to do amazing things together.
How did Jeff Mara find you? That's what I'm curious about too.
He didn't find me. I found him. and
yeah.
was,
so you connected with him.
I found him like literally about 4 or 5 days before my interview, and
It was a fluke.
It was a fluke of
Yeah.
nature. It was a divine intervention how I found him.
Like how we all found Mark.
Yes, yes. No, it's no coincidence at all how I found him, because his feed, his channel just popped up on my feed for no reason. Like,
yeah,
I haven't searched about NDs for over 10 years, probably, and I had things about the Ukraine-Russian conflict. That I had that kind of stuff coming up on my feed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this random Jeff Maher podcast, I'm like, what is this? So I clicked on it. And when I clicked on it, he was saying that he was accepting new friend requests on his Facebook. So he accepted my friend request right away, and I sent him an instant message saying, I have a story that I feel like I'm supposed to tell on your channel, and that's how I feel. Yeah. And he contacted me right away, and he goes, "How about next Friday?" And this was like on a Monday or something.
Because he's so well. So that is a miracle, because that's not how I've I've heard a few of his interviews, and I've never seen any openings like that. So that was just for you.
And he's booked through April now. He was just saying in one of his recent streams, he's like, I don't know what's going on, but we are full up and people keep coming.
I got in just in the right nick of time. Like,
I was driving. This is so. I just need to quickly say, we were driving back from a holiday from Whangamata, and so it was a bit glitchy with the reception. It was a gorge. And your podcast, I think maybe I'd saved it or something, but I was trying to listen to it and it kept cutting out, and I was so angry. I was like, no, we were just at the good bit, like where you went with your uncle to get a tire.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Yeah, and then as soon as we got back into rain, and I was just like, I wanted to drive forever. I wanted the drive to be forever. Because I wanted to listen, and so that's why when I got home, I wrote the comment, and I had never ever expected to hear anything, and so I'm so grateful.
And you sent me a few videos, which was really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And when you were doing your yoga, your meditation by the stream there.
I was showing you where.
And your dog Nelly, the dog Nelly.
Yeah,
yes.
So there's Nala.
Nala.
Oh, Nala.
No, there's Nala. Yeah, Nala came to give me a little snuggle.
Yeah.
There's Nala and Tilly, so you're not
Tilly.
wrong.
Oh, I blended them.
Yeah, and
you did.
I could tell on the video you were like really happy and excited, and
but I'm always
that you had seen my story.
I think that's my. I know. But I think that's the only gift that I have at the moment is my exuberance.
No, that's
something that people seriously don't. They don't have that, and I feel bad for people that they don't have that naturally in them. That little fire burning all the time.
Yeah. No, we're gonna. There are very wise, like elders, like ancient ones, I guess you could say, in our group, and they will help you just like they're gonna help me hone their abilities. We have mediums. We have just about everybody across all spectrums here accounted for, and and that's
they can help you choose.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say is every day that goes by, these superpowers in me get heightened, like to another level they've never been before. Like
I feel that,
and it's just amazing. And I'm starting to listen to my intuition even more hyper than I used to listen to it now.
And it's easier because it just becomes like, so our car stopped working. What are the battery? The battery messed up one of the nodules and modules in the car, and so we had to spend $3,000 to fly to Wellington. And that's a shitload of money.
It actually is. Just to fly in your own country. Oh my god.
Yeah, like fly like a 50-minute flight or something. It's ridiculous. So, but there's there's 6 of us, but I wouldn't have done it. But it was my husband's grandmother, and she was beautiful. Like we adored each other. So I'm so grateful that I went. Yeah. I did a little Maori speech there too, which
nice. Well,
Yeah, no, it was right.
You'll have
But
to
I
share
wondered
that with us if you want. Like if you could record it or something, that'd be cool.
It was like only like I thought, keep it sweet, keep it short. I wrote it on the plane, and I thought if there's an opportunity at space where I think, and there was, and it was perfect. But so I wonder whether our car just, it could have been driven, but not safely. And I feel that there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
You know, like
you may never know the reason.
I may never know, but I know that, I know that there was a reason why we didn't drive. So it's those little things every day that affect our path that we just need to take heed to and not regret. Like there was a design. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, did you have any more to say about your experience before?
Sarah went to bed.
Yeah.
She went to bed?
Sarah, that's why I kept talking a bit randomly.
Oh, okay.
Sarah wasn't here.
Okay.
She was cool though.
Oh my God! Yes.
I like it that she smokes a cigarette. Like I don't, but I have a drink.
Oh no.
And so it means like we've all got our little vices, don't we? Still.
Yeah. Well, I quit smoking in 2008, but I still vape. That's how I got.
Vape. Yeah.
That's how I stopped smoking actually. But you know, vaping doesn't hurt me. I feel like smoking did.
Well, I was almost going to suggest it. She could vape inside. But
okay. So we got about 6 minutes left.
Oh yeah, cool. No, I'll go now too.
No, tell us one supernatural experience in your life, at least.
Okay.
Something you can't explain that you've seen or happened to you, or something.
Oh yeah. I've had a few. One really, really short, quick one. It's not even a big deal, but it means something to me, and I talked about it on the weekend. I was on holiday in Germany. My grandfather had died the previous.
Our family doesn't know you're from Germany originally yet, so we'll have to have you back on our next experiences maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right. But it's I think it's my experience with the homeopath and my brother that was the most profound that I would share. But just for you guys quickly, we went on holiday in Germany, and we were just biking, and we hadn't been to the cemetery yet to see those loved ones that were, you know, the remains were there. And then we were like, oh, should we just go see Upa? And then we were like, oh, we don't actually know where he is. And I said, let me just try. And I just stepped foot into the cemetery, and I was led to his grave, like straight to his grave. And there's thousands, you know. So that was beautiful. And that was only maybe 13. But then I knew that there was an ability inside me that could be, it was unexplainable, but it was so true and so present. And probably since then I've had a few really lovely experiences.
Wow. Well,
that's
cool.
really nothing. I haven't seen
ghosts
or anything like that, but I've felt. But it's more, my senses must be to do with my feeling.
Yeah, so that's a superpower. Like, just feeling people's souls or energy. Like some people see auras. Like, I
don't. Yeah.
I feel your soul. Like people see auras. I don't see the colors, but I feel the color of your soul. I feel like the energy.
And then that's something to expand on, right? So that's where you begin, right?
That's true, J-Fro. That's so true. That gives me a place to begin.
Yeah, and the more you hang out with us, I'm sure that's going to rub off on you. That energy is going to heighten other things in you that you didn't even. I'm telling you, I have these superpowers now that I didn't even know I had until now. And now when I look back in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that's why I used to feel like this, or that's why I used to feel like that. I didn't realize that I was actually feeling something that was.
We feel like we're wrong, don't we? Like,
yes, that's why I said even if it doesn't make sense, you got to listen to your inner self, or that.
I think my maternal energy is really strong. Like our homeopath, I don't know how many minutes we got. If we get cut off, we get cut off. But my the homeopath. Oh yeah, cool. The homeopath that we see, she asked, like, out of all the people she sees, and she goes to mental health hospitals, and she goes everywhere. She chose me to make a remedy from my colostrum. So from the pre-breast milk. The breast milk is like do you know what colostrum is? Do you guys know?
Colostrum. Yep.
Oh, cool. Yep. Colostrum. So she made so she makes remedies. So she's made a remedy and she's got rid of a tumor from my brother's leg, and she made a remedy out of his blood. That was the first time she did that. But so she made a remedy out of my colostrum because she could sense that my maternal energy was so pure and so strong.
Wow.
Yeah, so she gives it to kids where their parents don't really know them that well. Like, she'll always talk to the parents and be like, oh, what's he like? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, he's 2. He likes doing 2-year-old things, but they don't feel the children. And that's the type of person she would give my remedy to. So
awesome.
I feel really proud of that.
That's
I
cool.
feel really...
We got to learn more about
eh?
this.
Yeah. Homeopathy, it's amazing. Like with what? Like it treats like with like.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like that's going to become something big in our family too. Is
the only reason it's
stuff.
not big.
That's arnica that we use a lot.
Yeah.
Arnica, yes, that's right. So it just doesn't make money. That's why we don't know it enough. Just because it's so present, it's so there for us. So it's up to us to share that now. Yeah.
I think there's a purpose for every plant on this planet, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they've people think this is poisonous or this is poisonous, but in the right amount, in the right mixture,
thank you.
We can make any kind of cure. I really believe that. But
yeah.
But anyway, well, thanks for. Okay, so next time, Leo, we're gonna come back to you if you can join us. And you'll tell me what day is best.
Thanks to everybody tonight, and thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah, definitely.
So sending all of the love to our family.
Oh, we love you
let's
too.
Keep in
Leo.
touch like we do.
Of course. And then our next broadcast, we'll have you back on. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll talk more about this stuff. All right. Love you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Love you
and
both.
Everybody.
Everybody. Love everything.
Yeah. So we're gonna call this stream a night. If you just joined and you didn't hear me at the very beginning, come join us where the magic really happens at our Facebook group at Game of Scrolls. You can just go to Facebook/groups/Game of Scrolls, and that's where our family hangs out, and we discuss all these interesting topics all day and all night. We have video. You can chat by text, video, whatever. We always are in there discussing things and learning things. So yeah, come on in, and you're welcome. It's a safe place to come to share your stories. You don't have to worry about any judgment or anything like that. We're all one big happy family, and we're growing really fast, and we would love for you to come and join us and share your stories, and eventually have you on here to share your experiences on this particular series. And so anyway, I love all you guys, and thanks for stopping in today and sharing your experiences and just being here to support everybody. It's really awesome. So anyway, I'll see you guys. Love you. Until next time.